Hello all you fine beautiful people. I'm back here once again with another video, and today I'm going to be doing number 2 in my Yes full album analysis. This is where I listen to it all the way through. Probably going to stop halfway through though, but after each song I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. And that today we're going to be looking at Time and a Word by Yes. Yeah, I have to say, I really enjoyed the first record, listening to it in its entirety, seeing how it flows instead of just listening to songs here and there. I thought this might actually work a lot better. Also, really debating changing up a few things. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll kind of discuss that a little bit more. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to listen to the first half and then listen to the second half, and probably on here it might be 2-part video like my last one was. I tried uploading the whole thing, but due to some issues with that, it just wasn't able to be done that way. So anyway, here it is, without further ado. Starting off with No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed by Yes. So that was No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed by Yes. I have to say, I really like the opening. The mix of, almost has this throughout the entire song, this mix of classical meets psychedelia. And it seems to actually really work here. I absolutely love Jon Anderson's voice. Like, that's something I really seem to just gravitate towards. Also on this song, like, Tony Kaye's organ keyboard work is really interesting, especially hearing it. I'm not sure if there is an orchestra right here. Comment down below if there is. But listening to it, you have, like, just this very rich, different sound. I know this came out after In the Court of the Crimson King, and I know Yes was very heavily influenced as looking at that and saying we need to go towards more of that sound and kind of develop our own style. But listening to this, I have to say I really enjoy it. Like I said, Jon Anderson's fantastic, Tony Kaye. One thing I really notice about here is kind of get a little bit of it on the first. It feels like very little Peter Banks. Like, he's audible at certain points with the guitar, but it starts off like, I know this is his last record with the band, and I know Scott from Prog Corner pretty much said that pretty much by the time this was over, he was pretty much done with Yes. So it's interesting to start hearing this and hear kind of the sound and just how it's going. Drumming wise, Bill Bruford's an absolute machine. Absolute machine. You can tell listening to that first album, you got him and Squire. And I know there is a story that one producer couldn't hear the bass in the mix. So he kept telling Chris Squire to go louder and louder and louder. And I wonder if this is where that happened. Because you hear him very audible on the first album. This is like they took the whole switch, turned it right up to 11, and just told him, go to town, boy. And he does. Like I said, Bill Bruford is a machine. Hearing that little just drum solo near the end, fantastic. Absolutely love it. Now we're moving on to song number 2 from this album, which is Then.
And in a time that's closer, life will be even bolder then. Love is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer then. Thoughts will be thought together soon in our minds forever.
So that was Then by Yes. Wow. What an interesting song. Right off the bat, I have to say, listening to Bill Birdford play drums, we're not worthy. Fantastic drummer. Absolutely fantastic. Love listening to it. Also just interesting hearing Jon Anderson in the song, singing vocally. It is kind of mid-range for Jon Anderson, but then he goes even even softer, and hearing that ending is just chef's kiss. Right off the bat, you can tell Tony Kaye, Chris Squire, Bill Bruford in this mix. Like, especially the first two songs, you really hear them. Like, it's almost like it just pops right out of your ears. And at times, it's interesting to hear, because you do hear Peter Banks maybe more so on this song than you do on the opening song. Really interesting to listen to. Lyrically, it's a really interesting song. It's very much a typical Jon Anderson style song. And in a time that's closer, life will be even bolder then. Souls will be complicated. Life will be consummated then. Hearts will be brought together soon in our minds forever then. The chorus, as long as we see there's only us who can change it, only us to rearrange it in the start of a new kind of day. And then it goes into verse 2, which I have to say, really do like it. And in a time that's closer, life will be even bolder then. Love is the only answer. Hate is the root of cancer then. Thoughts be thought together soon in our minds forever then. Just really interesting. Also in this, I really do like this kind of psychedelic break kind of feels like a freak out moment in the song where it really does build, crescendos, and then is brought down to this very, very mellow mood. Just hearing Chris Squire's amazing bass lines. Like, really, really interesting to hear it. Like, to see in something as this, like, even something is played probably as high up on the neck as that is, it just gives off this tone, this very mellow tone, and then being accompanied by John Anderson at the end just kind of morphs it into this whole nother level. And you can tell right away, it's kind of like a meeting of both worlds. It has at the beginning a very jazzy start, kind of psychedelic jazz kind of feel to it, and even near the end to get like kind of this little kind of horn-like thing at the end was interesting. It really is interesting to listen to and to hear 2 albums in, they're already doing some of the stuff that Yes would become known for. And you can see parts of it already here. So anyway, on to the next song on this album. Every Days by Yes.
Look at the sad goodbyes. Every day's a killing time. Sun coming up outside. No men are born this time. Saturday's child stays home. Nothing to say. So long. Well, well, well. Another day. Well, well, well. Another day. Grocery store, $10. Just making change for plastic cherries. Up in a tree, jaybird. Looking at me, no word. Everyone looks, you can't see. We can't be ignored easily. Well, 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 another day. Well, 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 another day. Soft within the wayward things, like ecstasy. The sound of trees, most anything. What a baby sees. so right. Many a place out of sight. Old woman there with red shoes. One million balloons, all used. Drive over hills, forget your fear. Getting it out of second gear. Well, 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 another day. Well, 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 another day. Well, 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 another day. Well, 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 another day.
So that was Every Days by Yes. Wow, I have to say I really, really like this. I love this kind of jazzy, very slow, mellow John Anderson. Like, it's really interesting to listen to, and kind of gives it a little bit of depth to Yes. Like, it's something that as listening to it, I'm like, Jesus, I could listen to John Anderson sing like this all day. Like, it's knowing kind of some of Yes's songs going forward. It's kind of a shame you don't get that quite as much going forward, because I think he has an absolutely stellar voice. Chris Squire's bass on this is fantastic. It's on point. You're hearing just these nice tight bass runs. You're hearing Bill Birdford's drums just absolutely just cut through the mix. You can tell these guys were very serious musicians at what they were doing, because you can tell even in the mix, listening to it, it just breaks through to where your ears are like, what do I want to listen to more? That very sultry, just exquisite bass line of a Chris Squire, or just the drum techniques of Bill Birdford. And at times, even the very nice, mellow vocals of John Anderson. It's like your ears are just fighting for space. Tony Kaye on this as well has really great sound. Very much... It's interesting listening to his organ sound, because it very much is a product of the time, of the sound of the organs and stuff. But even though it's very unique, very different, that's one thing I'll say about most organ players from that time. Even though they're playing the same instrument, each had their own style, their own flair, and it's really interesting to listen to Tony Kaye through these first album, and I want to say a bit, just listening to it and hearing just these different sounds. Sounds at times almost like there's orchestra as well, I'm not sure. Could be wrong, comment down below if there is. Also, on this, you get an absolutely stellar guitar solo from Peter Banks, where you can actually hear him. Like, it's not like he's kind of being drowned out, if that makes sense. At times it feels as if he is, or where it'll move from like, okay, your guitar part is over, we don't need you anymore, here comes in some keyboards, because there's some organ, because that's more what I want to hear at the time, and is what it is. It's really interesting listening to it. It very much feels like this is one song where everyone seemed to be on the same page, and it works. It's a really great song. I could listen to it every damn day. It's just that beautiful. But now on to the next song, and the last song from this part. I'll probably upload part 2 same day. But anyway, here we move on to, no, it's not Annie Lennox or Marilyn Manson, but it is Yes's song, Sweet Dreams. So here it is, by Yes. So that was Sweet Dreams by Yes. Very interesting song. I have to say, listening to most of this album so far, bass is extremely high. Drums very high in the mix. Keyboards as well. On this song, you hear a little bit more as the album's going on of Peter Banks, where he's in there. You can tell he's in there in the mix. I have to say, really enjoy it. Another good guitar solo from him. Listening to this, John Anderson, pretty good. This song, though, to me sounds like it was maybe more meant as just like filler for the album. Like, hate to say yes and filler, but that's kind of what it sounds like. It's just a very straightforward song, which that's not always a bad thing. It's interesting to hear every now and then. But listening to the way it's sung, it's very one note. Sweet dreams can solve the future. Sweet dreams can provide the past. Sweet things will within your makeup. These things will always last. These things will make. Sweet dreams of conversation. Sweet dreams of love and affection. Sweet words within your makeup. Sweet words of things to come. Sweet words of things to. Just a very interesting song to listen to. And how it follows this, I kind of call it a Yes trope, where it looks like they're looking for a song. See All Good People is another version of this, where at the end it's like, I've seen all good people talking all this way to satisfy, I'm on my way, kind of way of singing. And it kind of feels the same with the you're gonna laugh again, sweet dreams can solve the future, you're gonna laugh again, sweet dreams provide the past, and just continuing that over and over and over and over again. It's like a very singy song at the end, and very much reminds me of I've Seen All Good People in that approach, where it's kind of looking like you're looking for that song to constantly sing that verse at the end. But anyway, wow, it's like I said, Bill Birdford's a beast on the drums again. Very much as the album's going on, the more and more, like, it's just interesting to listen to and see where Yes was here and where they would go in the future. It's just very interesting. But anyway, that's my thoughts and opinions right now on Sweet Dreams. Now,